Greetings, ITCE students. Welcome to week 5, video number 3 that starts at slide 18. So after you've had a conversation, you're pretty comfortable with having a conversation in the workforce. You know how it's supposed to flow and how it goes back and forth, and each person typically spends about 50% of the time talking. Maybe not in an interview like your informational interview, but typically you have a conversation. Each person does some talking. And somewhere in that conversation, you state your opinion and you did it assertively, so your opinion was heard. Well, now there might be some conflict because maybe you said something that everyone doesn't agree with. They don't have the same opinion. So you want to make sure you have some strategies for dealing with conflict in the workplace so that they don't kind of fester and make it uncomfortable and the work environment be horrible, or people are unable to work together to achieve company goals, group goals. So I encourage you to do this reading, and it has a definition about conflict in the workplace, work environment, and then it gives you some suggestions on how to resolve conflict. And I made a little check for understanding quiz that you can complete to make sure that you got the key points from the reading. In addition to the strategies that are listed in that reading, another thing that you probably want to do, another strategy, is to make sure you know how you respond to situations when there's conflict, and learn how to assess the other people in your groups at school or the people you work with, and think about how they typically respond, and then plan for how you should deal with that person or engage with that person if there is some conflict. So this article gives some ideas about the different ways, the different typical ways that people respond to conflict, and you know, they're all appropriate in different situations. So take the quiz to make sure you understand about each of the different styles, and then make sure that you take this quiz, and read this article with a little bit more follow-up, a little bit more information to let you know what typically happens when your style meets somebody with the same style or somebody with a different style, and what you should do. So we know that there's going to be conflict, and that's okay, because sometimes you have to have conflict because you need to learn to see another opinion or point of view, and that's how we learn. And that's how we're creative, and that's how we explain things really well. But just learn how to deal with the conflict and move forward and make it what they call constructive conflict. So some more tips, right in here, just read through these. This is the link to the article. And there's a little quiz at the end of the article I invite you to take to make sure, again, that you heard the key points. If you come to class, we're going to do a little breakout room activity based on that reading in slide 23. These are just some things, the last couple of slides here, that I wanted to draw your attention to. Sometimes you and your boss are going to disagree, and that's a special situation because you don't want to disagree with your boss and make them look bad. So this is an article about disagree without being disagreeable, because it's important you still express your opinion and your point of view. And again, another article that just might be interesting, and a video that gives you some hints on how to listen better so that you're better dealing with conflict.